need to stuff out and abuse crouch cancel though. He's like not good against Falcon, and I've seen him go Luigi against Sonic before, which I do think Luigi's arguably Sonic's worst matchup, but I think Sheik is definitely pretty good.
I think you can't have the same general game plan of just trying to stuff out with things like Nair. You have to mix it up with using needles instead.
And not SDing.
Yeah.
But that's I think that's applicable in every matchup.
Ooh, okay. So, yeah, you just have to make sure that you're stuffing out like we just saw with needles and trying to get Sonic more into more uncomfortable positions, rather it be neutral or in recovery, because Sonic not really having the best recovery horizontally. I mean, having pretty great or aerial drifts, but if you can catch him out of that initial up B, then that's where it gets more complicated.
I think the best strategy you can have in this matchup is go to a platform, start doing jumping needles from the platforms to get Sonic to approach, and then you shield drop forward air whenever he does anything. Because realistically, Sonic doesn't have good ways of pressuring platforms. Yeah. He's not gonna he can't just spin dash from the ground onto the platform and grab you. He can't dash, he has to waveland and then grab. So it's pretty telegraphed. So if you see Sonic jumping up, you can buffer a shield drop. Yeah. Because shield drops do buffer out of hit stun, fun fact.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, because any pressure, whether it be short hop, nair, even with Sonic, or up air, anything like that, it's not gonna be just constant.
Yeah, it's just not safe enough. That's why I think shield dropping is amazing against Sonic. Also, pivot grabbing is another thing that I think is super good against Sonic with every character. And I don't know, I think KinGly might just be lost right now.
It's probably this 3-hour drive. Did you know he drove from Louisiana just to come to this weekly? 3 hours from Louisiana.
That's.
It made.
I know he says he loves driving.
Yes.
But I feel like that's a bit of gas money too.
Yeah, it is. it's hella gas money just to drive that long. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But a lot of times, him telling us a lot of times in Smash 4 people come up from Houston. A lot of times the Houston players are making money though. Sometimes, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. KinGly's game plan and adjustment so far has gotten a lot better, especially since he's SD twice.
Yeah, super low
Yeah.
percent. I think the problem isn't the reason this matchup is close is not because of KinGly making mistakes in his game plan. It's because some very unfortunate events happened.
Okay. So pressuring with forward tilt, but jtaco just knowing that he needed to back off and then start spin dashing in and catching out with the forward smash.
Okay. Ooh, he baited out the get up, but he just committed too early. These people need to wait more.
I mean, jtaco being in the corner, you have to just look out for two of the most famous options that you're going to see, especially when people are cornered on the stage, is rolling behind. KinGly did win.
Yes, rolling behind or just immediate spot dodge.
Or even jumping out of the corner.
Yeah, and she can cover all of them by just standing there. The hardest one to cover would have actually been immediate dash attack or immediate spin dash.
Yeah.
It's something that just doesn't seem that good, but attacking from the corner when people are expecting the spot dodge or roll is actually really good.
So banning FD and WarioWare. Not really curious why WarioWare. Probably one of the things is Sheik's ECB really having a hard time, especially if you're going to start short hopping. And it's going to immediately clip you onto those platforms because they're at such a weird height.
I understand why KinGly did it, although I disagree with it just because you're not trying to short up under platforms in this matchup a lot. You want to be on platforms a lot in this matchup. And having 4 different platforms is really, really good.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a good snipe with the down tilt.
But either way, they're going to Green Hill. And I think the same info really applies. If KinGly...
KinGly, stop just running into weird stuff.
KinGly is really smart, is a really smart player, but he finds himself doing some really stupid things.
That was really stupid.
And
Are you okay, Colby?
I think... Okay.
Touch the walk tech chase.
I feel like he should have saved his needle a little bit sooner just to get jtaco into that uncomfortable position when recovering, but still keeping it
that was a dope power
pretty well.
Gets behind him with the down smash. Ooh, I love the late fair into jab. He was trying to stuff bait jtaco into grabbing the fair, which jtaco could have just grabbed the jab. He waited for it. He just didn't. That's just unfamiliarity with the matchup, though.
I mean, the jab coming out pretty slow. There's a big mix-up when playing against Sheik, is that usually a lot of Sheiks will double jab, and then they would wait to grab after the second one. If you're looking for the second jab, that's where it definitely gets you.
Yeah. Sheik has some of the most interesting shield pressure in the game because it's pretty much all centers around fair. Because fair is only -1 on shield, but the mix-ups come with, like, she can forward tilt if you try to jump. She can jab if you try to grab. If you wait for the first jab, she can double jab. She can also just fair again to get you grabbing, or she can dash away to bait something out. So I think Sheik is her shield pressure is not flashy by any means, but there's definitely mix-ups for it.
You have to be very aware of the pressure that Sheik can put on your shield.
Yep.
Definitely.
If you wait, generally you just want to wait, though, because forward tilt's always punishable. That's the most common thing Sheik goes for. So I don't think it's, like, by any means her best shield pressure option, but it's the one that especially mid-level players will go for the most, just because they're just like, forward tilt's broken.
Yeah. And one of the things that we just saw, I mean, jtaco taking advantage in that situation, but KinGly fared on jtaco's shield, jtaco running away, and then answering with spin dash just to get out of that particular area, and then force pressure onto KinGly so he couldn't keep it up.
Yeah, Sonic definitely wants to, like, not be crowded and be able to come in on his own terms.
And it looks like after KinGly doing that down throw at 0, he could have just continued to chain grab rather than opting out for the forward tilt off stage. But, I mean, to each their own. I feel like you could have just built off more % by going for the regrab and then doing a forward tilt afterwards.
Down throw forward air, that's it, yep.
And that's such an interesting height or weight that Sonic has, just being at that regrab distance, especially at, what was that, 90?
Yep.
So
that's the mix-up with Sheik in this game. Down throw back air, you never know. And KinGly mixes up his throws pretty well. I'm hearing Captain Falcon. Could that be Brother Rob?
I think so. Who is in Troy's pools? You're the one.
Brother Rob's not in Troy's pool.
Okay.
I didn't want to put them in the same pool.
Because related,
They
you
are
probably
brothers.
play a lot. Yeah.
Troy's pool has KinGly, jtaco. There's one more person in that pool that I can't remember.
Isn't it